This for everybody who was mad about the cages.
The United States of America is not and must never be about locking up little children in cages on the southern border. And right now we have the opportunity and must take advantage of that opportunity to pass legislation to end that horrific practice.
Then you get Michelle Obama. They watch in horror as children are torn from their families and thrown into cages. Only to find out, which she knew this already, that the cages were under Obama. This picture, and I saw him do it. They posted this picture up saying that this was Trump's cages. Got the kids in there wrapped up like sweet potatoes. Where was the anger then? Where was the outrage? Where was Bernie Sanders talking about now is the opportunity? No, Trick, you had the opportunity way back when. And then not only that, you see the deportations are lower under Trump than under Obama. That's not even what we've been hearing. We've been hearing some other weird stuff. And I've been hearing that from y'all. But the reality is this. So if there are more deportations under Obama, then that means more families are being separated. Why does that make so much sense? Oh, because it does. Then New York Times reported, did the Trump administration separate nearly 1,500 immigrant children from their parents at the border and then lose track of them? No. The government did realize last year that it lost track of 1,475 migrant children it had placed with sponsors in the United States. According to testimony before a Senate subcommittee last month, but those children had arrived alone at the southwest border without their parents. So if they arrived without their parents, wouldn't it be a little bit harder to reunite them? But instead of the common sense, we get this. They watch in horror as children are torn from their families and thrown into cages. So when it was happening under Obama, were you watching in horror? What were you doing, actually?
A few weeks ago, the deadliest massacre of Latinos in modern U.S. history happened in this state, in El Paso. So the fear among Latinos, and you know this, is very real. So let me start with an issue that is causing a lot of division in this country, immigration. Vice President Biden, as a presidential candidate in 2008, you supported the border wall, saying, unlike most Democrats, I voted for 700 miles of fence. This is what you said.
And that's true. This is what he said.
Folks, I voted for a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence. But let me tell you, we can build a fence 40 stories high, unless it changes the dynamic in Mexico. And you will not like this, and punish American employers who knowingly violate the law when in fact they hire illegals. Unless you do those two things, all the rest is win.
The reason I did what I'm doing is because there's an invasion of Hispanics.
700 miles of fence. This is what you said. Then you served as vice president in an administration that deported 3 million people, the most ever in U.S. history.
You hear that? The most ever in U.S. history. That's separating a lot of families, Joker.
Did you do anything to prevent those deportations? I mean, you've been asked this question before and refused to answer, so let me try once again. Are you prepared to say tonight that you and President Obama made a mistake about deportations? Why should Latinos trust you?
What Latinos should look at is comparing this president to the president we have is outrageous, number one.
That's what
we
they
didn't
always
lock
say.
people up in cages. We didn't
You hear him lie? Did you hear that lie? So the man is a liar. Y'all supporting a liar and you trying to get me to support him. Watch him.
Is outrageous, number one. We didn't lock people up in cages. We didn't separate families. We didn't do all of those things.
At the debate in Houston, you said that during the Obama-Biden administration, and I quote, "We didn't lock people in cages." But you actually did. Well, not in the same numbers as in the Trump administration, but you did. We found a picture of an 8-year-old boy from Honduras.
Yes. And what
it
this
was
if you
taken
know,
in 2014 in a detention center in McAllen, Texas. I spoke with the
yes,
photographer,
and what happened
John
was
Moore.
all the unaccompanied children were coming across the border. We tried to get them out. We kept them safe and get them out of the
So now they did actually keep them in the cages, but it was to keep them safe. You see them? You can't trust them. So y'all are not being honest. What you're saying and what's actually happening in reality is not matching. And if Trump had said any of the things that Joe Biden is saying here, it'd be all over the news 24/7.
Because of the deportations were so high under the Obama administration, it is hard for me as an immigrant to trust you. And I want to know, if you were to be president, will you stop deportations on day one through executive action?
No. I will not stop all deportations. I'll prioritize deportations. Only people who committed a felony or a serious crime.
I'm not trusting for her, but I want to know that in 2008, I was a volunteer for a while because I had hope, and I believed in the promises of the fact is that over those 8 years, there were 3 million people that were deported and separated from their families.
Yeah.
We had this classification of families.
Well, you should vote for Trump. You should vote for Trump.
And that's always the answer. Oh, it's something about Trump, something Trump. But you don't want to face the reality. Immigration was supposed to be this big old thing with Trump throughout this whole 4 years. And then I'm seeing him do this.
An executive order I consider to be a very important executive order. It's about keeping families together while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border, and border security will be equal, if not greater than previously. So we're going to have strong, very strong borders, but we're going to keep the families together. I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated. There's a problem that's gone on for many years, as you know, through many administrations, and we're working very hard on immigration. It's been just left out in the cold. People haven't dealt with it, and we are dealing with it. So step by step.
So you think this video is about Trump and you think this video is about Joe Biden? No, this video is about you. Because you're talking about, I voted. I wouldn't say that out loud. You don't have enough information. You don't know enough to be talking about you voting and trying to get other people to do what you're doing. Not good enough. And you do this every 4 years.